Our third journey around the world comes to an end here. Welcome along to the Singapore Grand Prix for the third time already, and we're back for the second time around the Marina Bay Street Circuit. And I am not alone, as I might have thought last time out. I'm here with Sudjuche for this decider. Hello.
Hello guys, this is my second finale, I think. So it will be interesting to watch. Do you have any prediction, Larry?
Well, the big headline that was supposed to be there is Crustunet will not be racing, and I think that is still true. We got Seb stalled on the line, by the way. I don't know what's happening here, but he didn't race in the connection check as well. But now Crustunet is here, but I think just for qualifying. He is 14 points ahead in the championship of Guillermo, and normally, if he doesn't take pole now and doesn't race, Guillermo needs P3 in the race to win the title. And I think it's quite 50-50 between the two of them. Guillermo's only taken 3 podiums throughout the season. These are my huge calculations that I did. Crusnet's taken 6, which is quite astonishing to see that different aspects of dominance, not of dominance, of consistency. I'm still gonna go with Crustunet, I think. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going Crustunet here, but it's not impossible for Guillermo to win. Let's see, 50-50 here. But what about the race? Who do you think will win?
Well, Laguno is on provisional pole position right now with a 37.5. This is an unbelievable time, but Pigeon's also really close. We got some 37s on the board. And Krasnit's not had any practice. So Laguna's chasing his 5th win of the season. We might see him win half of the races, even though he's not in contention for the title really. Yeah. So I'm backing him for the race.
Do you think Matt will do any good this race? We remember from season 1, I think, when there was Singapore.
Yeah, that's season 1 round was it round 7 or round 8? It's the most viewed video by far, and I think it's quite an iconic one, especially with the interesting race that Matt put down there, fighting with Cadam and Piggy, winning the race and getting disqualified because of lag. I think he can do well around here still. I think the pace was convincing back then. I'm not sure how much he practiced now. What do you think?
I mean, he can do pretty well, I think. He certainly practiced, that's what I think. But most likely he will not win, but maybe a podium. It is possible.
Laguno already crossed the line. Now it's 10 hundredths of a second back to Pigeon. Can anybody still improve and beat him? Alonso 33 is in 4th position, once again trying to be up there with Jaguar. Toaster 64 has had a great Polish Grand Prix last time out, and they also have special liveries that didn't go through that at all so far. What's happened? Oh my god, do you see the grid? Why did Pigeon and Guillermo beat it? What? I didn't see it.
Wait, what?
Guillermo is Pigeon's on pole ahead of Guillermo.
We did not see that.
Pigeon is on pole position. Hello, everybody. I'm very, very confused. But 37.37 is unreal by Pigeon in the Jaguar. Toaster 64 actually isn't in the Jaguar. He is filling in for Seb at Etruria. Seb is at the back once again, not really driving around the track. He was in the 101st car.
Wow. Pigeon pole. Okay, they're fuming in the UMRL general chat.
Well, this is Gigan stuff, I would say. Guillermo takes the front row. That's about as much as he could have done. He doesn't take a point now, so he needs P4 at the very least. These are the calculations that Crustunet sent me himself. Thank you, Crustunet, for also doing the media stuff somehow. He has to take fastest lap and P4 or a podium. Laguno lines up in P3. He's still going to chase that 5th win in 6 races. Alonso 33, P4, Jaguar are the best team around Singapore. Tosa 64 is in P5 for Etruria. F1 fan this time being the better of the 2 Aston Martins. They also have a nice Batman-esque special livery. Majumdar is racing for Williams for the 2nd time. Matt in P8, the almost winner from the first edition of this Grand Prix. Then Fede F1 P9. He's also a new driver at Aston Martin instead of Crustunet, of course. Then Gigio Berger is quite new. I didn't even know that he had a super license, but I think he was in AMRL, and he's in P10 for MP. Sigma Bob once again is the 2nd MP Motorsport. And then we get Nikhil spectating, Brazidas I think also spectating, of course, team owner by our Constructors' Championship winning team now, because Aston would have had to take every single point in this final round to win the Constructors' Championship based on the most wins. They would have tied, but that's not the case. So congratulations to Etruria Racing Team. They win in their first ever season. For one final time, we're going to see the 5 red lights go on. And from here on out, it is racing forward towards the checkered flag and towards the title for Guillermo. If he takes P3 at the very least. Pigeon leads throughout the first corner complex. Guillermo's trying to take the lead on the outside line here, which turns into the inside in turn 8, and he goes around the outside in the next one to take the lead. Maybe we go through the Singapore sling. The 2 Jaguars are still at the top. Laguno is still in 3rd. Then Fede F1 has had a great start. Toaster 64, I think, losing a few positions. Then F1 fan being chased by Majumdar, Gigio Berger, Sigma Bob, Matt, and Seb. We only are 12 drivers here today.
Yeah, this is getting interesting. Pigeon lost a couple of positions, but Guillermo is only gaining. That was a bit of a squeeze, but I'm not really gonna say anything. I'm not a steward, so this certainly is getting fun.
And Toaster 64 is all over the back of Alonso 33, who now though goes past his teammate, and there's a huge pileup in the hairpin after the Anderson Bridge. Alonso 33 takes the lead in all of that. Pigeon makes it a 1-2 for now for Jaguar, and then the Astons suddenly benefit from that. I think there must have been a mistake by Guillermo, who now sees the title, gets a lot further from him. And the Astons are caught up in the first corner as well, which stretches it out massively at the top. And that's great for Jaguar right now.
Massive. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that same joke like last time, so... yeah, this is not very good for Guillermo. He's currently in the group of death. He needs to get out of there if he wants to stay in the fight. Yeah. That pile-up was something very, very bad. But currently Pigeon and Alonso are taking the most of it, slipping each other, it seems. Pigeon now with the fastest lap, very good from them. Laguno may join the fight, but we do know he has incredible pace. They use a lot of time, they just crashed.
And Pigeon's just gone wide, and Alonso takes the lead round the outside once again of turn 9. And Laguno's still sitting back there and now slips through, as there was a mistake by the British driver who was in pole position in that very tight section of the track. And Laguno's now trying to take the win, the lead, and then hopefully the win for him. But the Jaguars are very tough to defend at this point, and there's somebody going slow at the back, and that is Toaster 64 for Etruria. Etruria has taken a podium in every single round except not except Canada. In every single round. Aston's done so as well in every single round except Canada. So the chances are looking good for Guillermo still, who's now also holding the fastest lap, so he only needs P4.
Yeah, P4 is quite far, don't you think? That's like almost 5 seconds from him. 5, like 3 or 4 possibly, but that is still a lot of time, I'd say. Yeah, Pigeon and Laguno are kind of fighting, but Pigeon is really doing really good. Let's hope I don't give him the commentator's curse. Let's hope it does well.
Laguno tries
Let's
to
hope they help each
force him
other.
wide there, which makes Pigeon go deep in the following corner, and that was very smart driving if it was on purpose by Laguno, who now takes the lead at the Singapore Grand Prix from third on the grid. Seb has made it through into P3. He's suddenly racing, doing a last to first challenge maybe. Imagine there the second Williams also joining in, but the 101st are an unusual sight at the front this season.
Yeah, kind of a new thing, Pigeon being in the top 3 for such a long time. This is very nice. I'm not trying to call him out or anything, but it's very good that he's doing something like this.
And
Him and
Guillermo,
Laguno fight.
so Guillermo is fighting very aggressively with F1 fan, and I think you were trying to refer to the battle at the front between Laguno and Pigeon, which is still really close. We're on the same tires here, apart from Seb. Oh, and Laguno dives into the pits already.
Yeah, probably is the right call, undercutting. But Guillermo, I think, squeezed in Fedef. But I'm not absolutely sure. I can't really say anything about it.
Yeah, he did. Oh, and Pigeon goes very wide and goes too deep. That's the same move that Matt did with the lag in Season 1. I'm not sure if he had lag there or if it was just a mistake understeering into turn 8 there. And that might be a penalty for the driver that was in pole position. It's given the lead to his teammate, who might now, though, be alone in this battle.
They both go into the pits. Certainly not a bad call, I'd say. But they need to do better than this. Guillermo's, I think, chances are not dropping. They're increasing little by little. But he really needs to pick up on that pace if he wants to be champion this season.
Yeah.
Pigeon really needs to get out of the grasp of Sigma Warp, and I'll leave it to you then.
7 to 11 laps for the soft tires, 9 to 13 for the mediums, and 11 to 15 for the hards, which barely anybody is on and which wasn't a popular tire throughout the entire season. Seb leads after not qualifying. Then we get the two Williams. Imagine rather still having to pit here. And then it's Alonso, who was leading a moment ago, helped by the incident between Pigeon and Seb. Seb actually recovered quite well. Then tells to 64, the leading Etruria around here, and Guillermo is racing towards P4. That's what he's gonna hope for.
Pigeon doesn't seem to be giving up. He's catching Alonso and even Laguno, which is something interesting. Laguno now passing Seb for that first position. Will Seb slip him or will he fight? It seems that they're fighting now. Really giving it a go now. Laguno being faster on the better tires is pulling away very fast.
Yeah, it's also the slower tires for Seb. It's gonna be difficult to stay with it with the mediums and the worse tire wear. We also did a poll in the media channel as Seb now hits the wall in that notorious pin, and around the outside goes Alonso, getting squeezed into the wall but still making the move here. We also did a poll, and Crustunet has only received 36% of the prediction votes. Guillermo is backed by 64% to win it around here. And now, after the pit stops, look at that, look at where he is. He's in P4. But Pigeon now has taken the fastest lap away from him. And that is another huge change. Now Guillermo needs P4, needs P3, has to catch up 3 seconds. And that is that leading pack.
Yeah, he does need that P4. If he does indeed get P4, I think they'll be exactly equal, and whoever has more wins will win the championship. That is
exactly
Crustunet. He has the more wins. If he does finish here, it will go to Crustunet, but tying in the title is something incredible. Now Laguno, did he make a mistake? Now both him and Pigeon are fighting for that first position. This is not going as a team play here. They are fighting till the end of it.
Yeah, but once again, around here, we see a driver with at least an investigation by the stewards hanging over his head, Alonso. of course, is still in it, and might still receive some help. And then Matt DNFs this time as Laguno goes wide in turn 3, and through go both of the Jaguars. Pigeon still ahead of his teammate, but now Alonso goes through. But Matt, the one who almost won this race last time out, this time not even gonna finish it.
Ooh, big mistake there by the Jaguar drivers, both hitting the one. Laguno goes through. Through goes Laguno. Okay, that did not
Unbelievable
hit the spot.
stuff.
Yeah.
Now it's just 1.5 seconds between Guillermo, the racing Spaniard, and the other Spaniard, probably Alonso. I'm not sure where he's actually from. The Pigeon is still in the slipstream of the Spaniard that has won 4 out of the last 5 races. In fact, every single race apart from Monza has been won by a Spanish driver this season. And the 2 title contenders are also Spanish.
Guillermo is catching up to Alonso now. Will go for a move in this tight spot, but does not manage it. Will Alonso be able to keep Guillermo out of there? Will he be able to stop his title contention?
This is the question that we are facing, and once Guillermo is there at the very front of the field, and he's trying to do the same move that has also been done in lap 1 already, but he understeers almost like Pigeon did towards that dangerous wall on the outside of turn 8, but now he's up into P3, and that's everything that he needs. And Crustunet can only watch and hope that the Jaguars are strong enough, that maybe Majumdar is still gonna join in on the fight, that something crazy is going to happen with the rain as Laguno and Pigeon veer off into the pit lane, and Guillermo takes the lead. And that almost makes my voice die right there. Holy cow.
I mean, he did indeed take that 3rd spot, even if Alonso is right behind on his tail now. Oh, a pass now. But Guillermo did push Fedev. This might be a big penalty there, at least a second. He might not win it. He just needs to do better now. By the way they're fighting, maybe Mahomda will join in the fight soon.
I'm not sure how big that incident actually was. We also have to bear in mind that Pigeon will also maybe get a penalty. There might be a lot of question marks still hanging over this race afterwards. And that maybe Guillermo might be promoted a position again. But now he's released into traffic actually after the 2nd stop, and they pass the MP Motorsport, and still he's having to race with Alonso. His heart must be racing, racing right now, not only himself but also his heart. Wow, I can't imagine that.
We both think that Crustunet can become champion, but Guillermo currently has the better chance because he is racing rather than not. And now he will take 4th place. Seb hasn't pitted, so this is a guaranteed 3rd. And now Pigeon was hit by Seb.
Yeah, there was some interesting incident in turn 3, but I didn't, barely didn't see it here.
Yeah, this is becoming an interesting finale. But as all things must come to an end, I have to leave. A very nice race. Whatever happens, I'm sure Larry will do a great job commentating. Yeah. Have fun, Larry.
Thanks for your work, and thanks for also still joining here, despite not being at home and whatever. Yeah, thanks for your efforts, and we will see you next season for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, have a nice race. Bye bye.
Goodbye. Thank you. And now I am left alone here with Seb making another mistake. And oh my god, what's happened there? That was Pigeon, I think, going into the wall before the hairpin this time around. And I have no idea what happened there. But a strange incident makes the Jaguars look a bit worse in this phase of the race now. Laguno is still leading this race. I am absolutely thrilled by this battle myself. Then Guillermo is in P2 right now, which is everything that he would need to beat Crustunet, who is not here today, who does have a 14 points advantage in the Drivers' Championship though. He's only won 2 races as well, at Austria and Japan. Guillermo though has only won 1 around Great Britain, while Laguno is trying to win his 5th race, half of the season. It doesn't even feel like it, but we have seen that dominance again. Let's see what we're gonna face in season 4 then, as Kato won't be racing again. There's no Hurricane Racing team on the grid, sadly. I made a very nice special livery for them, but we're only 12 around here this time. Yeah, I didn't miss any battles, as it looks like. F1 fan is not having the greatest of times around Singapore, and that kind of reflects his season. He's taken 2 podiums, but couldn't really ever challenge for the title as we might have thought last season. I also checked the combined statistics from the first 2 seasons, and funnily enough, Guillermo and Crustunet actually were the best that only raced in season 2. So that was quite foreshadowing already, but I didn't really notice that until now. Of course, Crustunet was already amazing towards the end of last season, but he still might not win it here. Guillermo is within a second of the almighty Laguno. That is also something nothing short of incredible. And something we've not seen that often. Alonso 33 is trying to get his first podium. In the meantime, he took the fastest lap last time at not last time, but at Austria. By the way, I love this title decider. I wish it would be like that in real life. Singapore is my favorite track in real life, and yeah, therefore also for UMRL, especially because it's got that legendary status now because of that infamous race. Not only infamous, but also famous, because it's got the most clicks on YouTube here. Ferry F1 is actually doing a solid race for Aston Martin, as the clouds will now be in the sky, the weather not playing a big role so far. But what is going to happen here now? I mean, it doesn't mean at all that there will now be rain, but Laguno pits first once again. It is 10 laps to go towards the end of this season, towards the end of the season that was dominated by the Spaniards. Laguno picks medium tires towards the end, as there's an aggressive fight between Fede F1 and Seb, but Fede just swoops round the outside, not really thinking about his opponent too much there, but Seb not willing to bail out of it and comes out on top towards the end of the lap again. But through the final 2 corners here, Fede takes the position again and also gains a spot because Alonso went to the pit lane, so he's right now in P3 actually. But what a race by Seb as well. Down the inside he goes once more in turn 8. Very, very popular overtaking spot this time around. If you assess the previous corner in a smart way, Chichiburger kinda squeezing Pigeon to the wall at the hairpin, closing the door. And Pigeon's race maybe coming a bit undone here with that strange error that he had in the sling. The gap between Laguno and Guillermo after 3 stops each is at about 2.5 seconds from what I can see. But Guillermo will be quite happy right now, quite calm for him around the track. He doesn't have anybody near him. I think that's the best for him in his very stressful situation, probably. As Seb makes a late pit stop. And it is probably going to be a first podium for Jaguar. They have got their special livery put on the car for Singapore, as have Aston Martin. Majumdar is in P7 now, he couldn't quite keep up with the top. Toaster 64 also not quite doing what the other Etruria boys could do so far. But as I said, he's had a nice Polish Grand Prix. Now, actually, I can also tell you the UMRL results, because you're probably not gonna see a video of that anytime soon, at least. Toaster 64 finished second in that championship. He could still finish it because, of course, he didn't take a podium in the UMRL so far. Ferry F1 has won the UMRL championship. Majumdar finished in P3, then Sigma Bob, then Pigeon, Brolix Alonso 33. These are the drivers that managed to get into this league. Chichu Berger actually finished in 13th there. I'm not sure why exactly he can be here, but he got some special permission. I think it's okay, as Crustunet leaves the race, but he wasn't in it anyway. He might be losing hope at this stage that anything is still gonna change. I think Guillermo's been quite reliable as well in terms of connection and DNFs. And if you can hear the scratching sounds, this is my cat that wants to join me for commentating, but she won't get in. Seb has actually not finished worse than P4. That's also a stunning fact that I found in my research for this final race. But he missed 3 rounds, and therefore his championship challenge kind of faded away. Laguno's actually ahead of him in the standings. But the driver with probably the most races in this league now is not going to win the championship. But maybe he will be there for next season if he continues that run. He's only finished 8th and 17th before round 5. Since round 5, he's only finished 1st and 2nd. And of course, he also didn't race at every single round before round 5. And there must have been some mistake while I was looking at the standings, because Guillermo suddenly is very close again. Laguno, of course, also picked the medium tires, but Guillermo's trying to make the move for the win here. Into turn 5 we go, and now down the Raffles Boulevard. Is it called like that? Is it called that? I'm not sure. But Guillermo, the man who's trying to win the championship here, who is probably going to take it if nothing really terrible happens to him now, is diving down the inside into turn 14, racing wheel to wheel towards that final chicane on the second to last lap. Guillermo tossing Laguno around the track somehow. Laguno squeezing him to the inside. This is for the win, and on the last lap into turn 1, Guillermo makes a bit of a controversial pass, pushing Laguno off the track. Guillermo lets Laguno back through. He doesn't want to get in trouble at all. He knows that he is probably going to win this championship. I don't want to jinx it so far, but it is looking great once again for the Spaniards. These two have taken 2-1-2s already. I already said that every win apart from Piggy's one was by a Spaniard this season. Laguno crosses the line to win the Singapore Grand Prix, the final race of the winter 2025 season. But behind him, it is Guillermo, the driver from Spain, going from Hurricane Racing Team to Etruria Racing Team for this season, who wins the championship. Congratulations. Wow! He beats Crustunet in a thrilling battle, even though his rival wasn't on track today. Alonso 33 takes P3. It's a first podium for him. Pigeon P4 and the fastest lap of the race as well as pole position. He was rapid around this track. Fede F1 with a nice first race for Aston Martin. He will surely also be on the rise going into the spring 2025 season. Seb with a great race. His worst, as I said a few minutes ago, in this season is P6. Then Majumdar takes P7. Great race for Williams as well. They certainly do have P3 in the Constructors' Championship. Then Toaster in P8 ahead of Chichiaburger and Sigma Bob, who take a few points for MP Motorsport, but they are just a shadow of what they could do in the previous season. And let's see if Piggy is going to continue in this league. F1 fan is only going to take P11 today. He will hope to start fresh next season, and Matt then still doesn't have a finish, an official one, because he was disqualified in season 1 around this track. Well, wow, not often have I been this excited about a UMRL Grand Prix. I thought I would get used to it, but the title deciders are something different. I hope I did a good job. Also, thanks to Sudjuche again. I think there should be a goodbye message that he leaves behind for you.
Hey go guys again, it's me Sudjuche. I had to give me mid-race because I have some work to do. I had some work to do. I've been quite busy, but next season I'll be able to commentate almost every race, so expect me to be there. Larry probably did a great job commentating this video. I wish the best of luck to everyone, every racer. I hope for great next season, and it's cool to have you all to view the videos and all. I'm happy to be here as well. So yeah, it's a goodbye for now, but not a farewell. So, see you in 3 weeks, I think. 2-3 weeks, something like that. Bye bye.
And these are the final results of our third championship season. Let's wrap them up from 31st to 1st again. Flicks 31st only, a DNF with 17th position. Glow actually failing to score points 3 times. Then Rondo de Corsa, Cubo doing the same, but then we already have our first point scorer being Bituco with 1 point. But we see the effects of the super license that is implemented for this league now, and of course also the fact that we do have more competitive, active drivers now. Hero is in 26th, he's also not been as active. Then Gyrosan is actually only in 25th with 1 point. 4 consecutive DNFs and lots of connection issues did hamper his season and maybe also his motivation to keep going. Chichi Burger only took P9 in today's race, but he's in 24th. Frimpong scoring 8 points, but across 5 rounds. He also will have to step up his game to keep up with the new drivers. Then we have Nick Hill, Williams' team owner and main driver, but I think that he is going to follow his retirement plan, even though we didn't see his 3 races left message after Canada. Also an iconic name for this league, and let's see if he's gonna stay with Williams at least. Figo actually only raced once and took 7th position. Wilger only managing P20. The Dutchman will also have to step up his game, so basically the entirety of Levioso Sportsart will have to do so. The Nomskar, aka Bomb, took a podium of course at Silverstone. Sigma Bob joined the league at Canada and then scored solid results, finishing in P18 overall. Majumdar even scoring a podium on debut and therefore ending up 2 points ahead of Sigma Bob. Alonso took his first podium today. He's been racing in this league for a bit longer, but he's also an AMRL driver who we will have to watch out for in the spring season. Matt returned to the league in the second half of the season, and he also got pretty close to podiums occasionally, and of course took 1 front row in qualifying. Pigeon has got his bad luck a bit more under control than last season and took P4 today after the last minute pole position. You could see it on screen, but the checkered flag icon already was next to Pigeon and Guillermo. I don't know what happened there. Elcrack only raced twice but took podiums. Absolutely phenomenal. Malik actually still finishes P4 despite quite a grueling season for MP Motorsport. Rolex was the best LSA driver by far this season, took 1 podium. And now we go into the top 10 with Toaster64, who raced at every single round. His performance certainly improved in these last few races, as did Fede F1's again. He had a strong start to the season, then it was a lot harder for him, but that's why he managed to win the UMRL championship. I'm pretty sure, however, that the ban rule will be altered for next season, that they only get banned after the season is done. Nicholas, of course, won at Spain. Then it's been a pretty quiet season, especially towards the end where he didn't race. Same for Piggy. He took a win at Monza, of course, and DNF'd dramatically at Silverstone at his home race, where he probably would have gone on to win. Our other champion, Cato, is already retired now. He was a bit more consistent than Piggy with 2 podiums and also raced at 3 more rounds than F1 Fan did every single one, but simply couldn't challenge for the championship this season yet and still doesn't have a win to his name. Then we've got Seb, who now does have the 101st colors over his name, but he of course did almost every single race with Etruria Racing Team, our championship winning team, and he contributed a lot to that. If he's going to race more often next season, our 3 Spaniards at the top are going to have something to worry about, because he took 19.9 points per race. But of course, what made this season special were Guillermo, Crustunet and Laguno, and the Spanish national anthem Laguno, also getting pretty close to the top towards the end, and he's gonna go into the spring season as the favorite. But this season, the focus was on Guillermo and Crustunet. Guillermo winning by 6 points. Of course, Crustunet did race less, but we saw brilliant performances and also consistency by both of them. And the finale with the pressure still really was another difficult challenge for Guillermo to overcome, and he did it. And these are the teams after another 10 races. The 101st finishing in last with 38 points. Not the worst season of a team that we've ever seen, but yeah, they are struggling with drivers, and I think struggling with a lot. I'm not sure if we're going to see them for a 4th season. Hurricane Racing Team are in P8. I didn't have the feeling this season that they were only carried by Cato, but he scored 75 out of 78 points for them. So their future is also uncertain. I'm pretty sure, however, that Levioso Sports Art is going to continue. They still do have Brolix and just need another Krav or Bocco or a Frimpong or Wilger who are able to keep up with the newer drivers. And Jaguar actually finished P6 then with a great end to their season. Maserati 1 time in the midfield, but I think they're not in too bad of a position. If they can get the Nicholas and Matt lineup for next season, that would be quite exciting. And at MP Motorsport, it seems like things are changing. Sigma Bob is probably gonna race regularly next season. And then I don't really know if we can count on Piggy, Malik or Bituco. And Williams Shadow E-Racing finished 43 points ahead of MP Motorsport. In the end, they've now had Majumdar and Fede F1, who we have rarely seen at the very top, but behind that they can score solid points already alongside Laguno. And then we had Aston and Etruria. And Etruria took the championship quite easily then, always finding 2 very good drivers. And so they can spray the champagne in celebration of both championships in the winter of 2025. I'm really grateful for all the people that followed our 3rd season, and you're probably gonna see me in season 4 as well. I might take a break at some point because I've been doing this since the summer. And as Formula 1 returns, you're also going to see F1 ES return. Maybe I'm gonna commentate there as well. I'm a bit indecisive at the moment. You won't have to worry, the UMRL will certainly go on with these amazing drivers. You saw it in the qualifyings towards the end of the season now, how close and how competitive it did get. That's what we were hoping for at the start of the season. The champions, Cato, Piggy, aren't there as much as some might like. Laguno is still there, of course. Crustunet and Guillermo managed to get through the ranks and now are at the very top. It is ever changing, but getting more and more competitive, and there's no regulation changes that are gonna rip this apart. We're going to see you again when the Ultimate Mobile Racing League returns. If you want to commentate, if you want to edit videos for any league, or if you want to race yourself, join the Discord. Goodbye.